Uh-oh, more ignition switch problems for General Motors. Survey says texting and driving is a sign of addiction, and Indian cars wad up like a piece of paper. All that and more coming right up on Autoline Daily. This is Autoline Daily for November 11th, 2014. Sheesh, just when we thought that General Motors was putting this ignition switch fiasco behind it, up pops another embarrassing episode. Now it turns out that GM hastily ordered 500,000 replacement ignition switches from Delphi last December. Automakers are required by law to notify authorities of a safety defect within 5 days of discovering it. So why did GM wait until the end of January to do so? Of course, you don't want to order a recall and not have the parts ready, so maybe this is why GM took the action it did, but justifiable or not, it just adds fuel to a fire that GM just cannot seem to put out. Mercedes is reviving the Maybach name again, but now it's going to be a high-level sub-brand within the Mercedes brand. The S-Class will be the first model to carry the Mercedes-Maybach name, which makes its debut later this month. And the company is changing the names of other vehicles. Its SUVs will now all start with the GL, followed by a letter to associate it with its sedan counterpart. For example, the M-Class is now going to be the GLE to align it with the E-Class, and the GL is now the GLS to associate it with the S-Class. Four-door coupes will all carry the CL name, and roadsters will start with SL. The trunk badge will also have a lowercase letter to denote what type of powertrain the model has. For example, D is for diesel, E for electric, and H stands for hybrid. Good. Now that you're thoroughly confused, let's move on. In India and other developing countries, automakers sell very basic cars with prices that start at about $5,000. This includes models such as the Ford Figo, the Hyundai i10, Maruti Suzuki Alto, the Tata Nano, and the Datsun Go. And now we know why they're so cheap. Global NCAP, which crash tests cars, found that none of these cars can even earn one safety star. They all get zeros. Global NCAP even wrote to Nissan CEO Carlos Ghosn, asking him to pull the Datsun Go off the market until it can be upgraded. Even though Global NCAP is singling out cars sold in India, this is a problem throughout the developing world, and that raises questions of ethics. Should automakers sell cars that knowingly offer substandard levels of safety? And even if it is unethical, what if customers can't afford to pay for that extra safety? We'd like to know what you think. By the way, Global NCAP is a UK-based operation that's mostly funded by the FIA, the motorsports organizing body. Still to come, texting and driving is a clear sign of addiction. Car sales set a record in Mexico.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, your journey, our passion, and by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
New car sales in Mexico are roaring ahead. They topped 100,000 units last month, up over 14% compared to a year ago. For the year, sales are expected to hit 1.1 million units. And by the way, if you want to learn more about Mexico's auto industry, check out our Autoline This Week from earlier this year. Just click the link in the transcript to watch that show. Or if you don't have time to watch it, you can always download the transcript. As you know, the show is full of great insider information from industry experts, and transcripts even make it better. Plus, we're offering a special discount all this month. If you tell us you heard about the transcript on Autoline Daily, you'll get 50% off the normal price of only $1.99. Just click the Autoline Archives link on Autoline.tv to see our full list of available shows. We all know that texting while driving is not safe, so why do people still do it? According to a study commissioned by AT&T, it's because we're addicted to it. The study showed that over 90% of people know it is not safe to text and drive, but we will rationalize doing it, which is a classic sign of addiction. They're actually experiencing an elevation of dopamine, which is a neurochemical in the brain that makes people feel happy, so they end up compulsively checking their phones. The study was conducted as part of AT&T's It Can Wait campaign, in which people pledge not to text and drive. The provider also offers an app that will silence text once a vehicle reaches 15 miles an hour. Coming up next, Mercedes adds a new feature to the Sprinter van.
Dow Automotive Systems, driving solutions in automotive, commercial transportation, and aftermarket with innovative products like Betamate structural adhesives. Lighter, stronger, safer. DowBetamate.com.
Everybody probably knows Mercedes-Benz from its luxury cars, but in fact the company also makes a variety of commercial vehicles, or CVs, including that rolling rectangle it calls the Sprinter van. And despite the fact that the vehicle has only been in the U.S. since 2001, last year it finished third in CV sales behind market leaders Ford and Chevy. This year Mercedes is looking to improve those numbers even more with the new 2015 model and some first-time features, including a hardy 4x4 system that you would not expect to find on a commercial van.
All right, so we're in the Sprinter, the 2015 Sprinter 4x4. I've engaged the four-wheel drive system. I've also engaged the low range and turned off our Parktronic because we're going to be heading down some steep hills where the Parktronic will get activated. So we start with a gentle climb, and we're going to let the 4 ETS do all of the work. So we'll just gently accelerate up, and the 4 ETS transfers power to the wheel that has grip. And we're going to experience a lot more of that once we start climbing the more rough areas of the course. So we come a little descent here, not too steep, just a nice little warm up to the whole course. So as we come around the corner here, next we're going to have a climb, a fairly steep climb on some loose dirt with a very severe breakover angle. Breakover angle is that the front of the vehicle drops off again, so a good chance of getting high center, but the Sprinter is actually quite tall, has a very good breakover angle. The vehicle's climbing up over and the front end drops, but we don't bottom out on the way down. Next we come to a feature we call our elephant holes, and it's a series of offset holes that really challenge the vehicle here. So as one wheel falls into a hole, the other is climbing up a hill. And really what we're doing is we're driving on 2 and 3 wheels at a time. As we fall down into this hole here, I just let the 4 ETS do its work. And we climb the hill and let ourselves out. So as I sit here, I now have about 3 feet of air underneath my left rear tire. And away we go. We'll gently let that rear tire come back down to the ground. And we continue climbing out of the elephant holes and up over the berm. This berm gives a little bit of a side hill. But as we come down the berm, we fall down into a ditch, and that ditch has got quite a side hill to it. So you'll notice that the right side of the vehicle drops right down into our ditch with a few holes in it for good measure. You can feel it's leaning quite a ways here. We'll carry on climbing out of the ditch, a few more holes. And that takes us towards the end of our little course here, where we can do a bit of a side hill descent. And just really showcase the capabilities of the 2015 Sprinter 4x4. The purpose is really to showcase the technology of this vehicle, and pretty much anywhere where a four-wheel drive pickup truck can go, the Sprinter is going to be able to go with ease.
We'll have more about the 2015 Sprinter in future Autoline dailies, but in the meantime, head on over to our seat time section of the website to get our full impressions of the van. And be sure to join us Thursday night for After Hours, when our guest will be Swami Kotagiri, the head of research and development for Magna, the giant supplier company. We're going to get a supplier's view of what kind of technology the automakers are after. And that wraps up today's report. Thanks for watching.